has to be some reason. Not eating
The
out
NHS, the NHS went around and said that the emergency room footfall has gone down by 50%. So please, if you're sick, don't stay there, come.
There are no accidents, right? There are no so many things that otherwise happen in a day-to-day basis. It's just a better world for sure.
We had a Zoom call in the morning in which they said at the crematoriums in Delhi and extrapolating it to India per se, it's dropped by 35 to 40%. You know, so the RTAs were a huge thing. Delhi alone, I mean, I think we had about 800 accidents. Yeah. No cars, no accidents.
I think Joy has also joined us, Shabnam.
Hi, Joy.
Chakravarti.
Joy is a real warrior in Maharashtra. He's battling it out.
Yeah. Shabnam, Shivani ji, I think we're good to start if it's okay with you.
Sure. So should I go ahead, Nija? Namaskar, good evening, good afternoon to everybody who has joined into this very welcome intervention, discourse, dialogue, jo bhi aap keh lijiye. Today, the world that we are living in, as many times as we might say, is unprecedented. It is truly unprecedented. At the back of our minds, we all know that there is an impermanence in life. Things have to evolve, things have to be changing. But I think human beings are blessed with an imagination. They have a memory, which they use to manage the impermanence and be prepared for tomorrow. Having said that, the current situation that we are in today has literally stopped us all in our tracks. We were not at all prepared for, as they say, this dhamaka of life coming to a full stop. This full stop, and especially when it is right out of the blue, has evoked a huge sense of fear. It's like saying a tiger comes rushing to you, you're stopped in your tracks, your adrenaline rushes to your brain, and you freeze. And in that moment of freeze, it gives rise to this sense of fearfulness, a sense which then propels all of us to think irrationally, to commit, to say things irrationally, and essentially, bhule bhatke, as they say, that is where we are at this present moment. Can we in this time do something as individuals? Because clearly this particular war is against an invisible enemy, an enemy which does not know any geographical barriers, does not know any barriers of rich or poor, ethnicity, or any kind of barrier. Is there something? So tomorrow, if we say, okay, the army didn't do their job, so-and-so didn't, there's no blame game here. It all rests with us. It is me and I who will be solely responsible if we win or lose this battle. As this has evolved, as this is evolving, it's certainly not evolved, evolving, we're learning more of it. It is all coning into one thing, and that is how we as human beings have treated our mind and our body. Where do we go from here? This sense of fearfulness. Tomorrow, as the situation, God willing, will improve, the lockdown gets lifted, we have to go out into the world. We have to pick up the threads of where we left them off. Will we be able to take on the challenges of walking into a new world, which clearly is not going to be as of yesterday? Will this change situation be there, whether it is in our work environment, whether it's in our businesses, whether it is what we had envisaged as futures for ourselves, our families? So at the end of the day, it was all boiling down into how do you build resilience? And building this resilience is not only in societies. This resilience is not about governance, other people. This resilience is about us. How do we manage our minds to manage the fear, which will either be locked up or will be utilized for us to be able to manage this onslaught? Today, Sister Shivani needs no introduction. As Rajan said, a person who knows no time, who's there for us all 365 days. We are truly blessed to have you with us. Thank you ever so much. So without much ado, I would request that all participants, and I'm sure you are eager to hear her discourse, so we are going to have her speaking uninterruptedly for about 40 minutes. Any questions that you have, I would request you to kindly put them on the chat box. We will amalgamate them and take as many as we possibly can in the time constraints. So please do bear with us. Over to you, Didi.
Om Shanti and good evening. Let's just take a minute of silence. A minute of silence and a prayer, radiating blessings to those who've seen death in the last couple of months and have moved on their journey. Powers and blessings to their families. Blessings to those who are going through the process of healing right now. Blessings and gratitude to those who are taking care of the country and the world. Collective blessings create miracles. They have the power to influence minds, bodies, and environment. Together we radiate our blessings to each one on the planet. Shanti and thank you. We all know what we are going through in the last couple of months, so we're not going to talk about that. Important is to just see the impact that it is creating on our minds and on the minds of people around us, the minds of people whom we are responsible for, and the minds of people in the country and the world. Let's go to 3 months before, and which means before COVID, and the kinds of life that we were leading. For most of us, life was about holding situations and people responsible for our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And every time there was a situation outside, and when we reacted, we said it was because of. And we thought this was normal. It's normal to react to a situation. So I was upset because of something, angry because of something, happy because of something outside. Everything that was going on in the inner world was because of something happening in the outer world. And this was a life of emotional dependence. Call this a life of a victim. Not having the freedom to choose our thoughts and feelings, but holding people and situations responsible for how we feel. And because of this, a lot of uncomfortable emotions like stress, anxiety, then depression, then physical ailments like diabetes, hypertension, relationship issues, divorce, most of these uncomfortable things were labeled as normal. ये तो normal है आजकल, ये तो होता है. So uncomfortable emotions, disease, issues in relationships, we started calling it normal because we said situations are such, so this is normal. And while we were living our life this way, there came a global situation. So now it's not a personal situation, a family situation, an organization situation, a country situation, a global situation, and probably for the first time in history, a global situation. And when came this global situation, the global emotion labeled as normal is fear and anxiety. And we're all saying it to each other now. Normal hai. Dar lagna to normal hai. Fear and anxiety is normal. Fear and anxiety for a couple of hours, a couple of days, people can handle. But fear and anxiety for a couple of months, and that too not just my own fear and anxiety, but I'm influenced by the vibrations of the world, fear and anxiety. This might not be easy for every mind. And so while we're taking care of how to fight this virus, we will also now start needing to take care to how to protect our minds. Because the mind is getting influenced by the collective consciousness of the planet. So the need of the hour is to take charge of the mind and first and foremost to remind myself, I am emotionally independent. And emotional independence means my thoughts, feelings, and emotions are my choice. I am the creator of what I think, feel, speak, and behave. I am the creator, independent of the situation. Situation is the stimulus. I am the creator of the response. We've read books, we know it all. It's the time to implement that. Situation is the stimulus. I am the creator of the response. And between the stimulus and the response is the freedom to choose the response. So we cannot say it's obvious to create fear and anxiety. We need to choose our emotion, our feeling, and thoughts. Now, why do I need to think differently right now? And is it really possible? And what difference would it make to the world? If we had some technology by which we could measure the global vibration of the planet, the global consciousness, collective consciousness of the planet means all the minds put together. That's the universal consciousness. If we had an equipment by which we could measure that, then we know it's not going to be very high right now. So let's say average, let's say we are at a frequency of about 20 or 30 on the global level, 20 or 30. And then if I, in my own personal life, am also at a frequency of, let's say, 40 or 50, because I'm also part of the world, I'm creating those apprehensions, I have started calculating figures of the future, I have responsibility of hundreds and thousands of people, so I am creating my own stress and anxiety. So the world is suppose at a vibration of 30, and I am at a vibration of 40 or 50, then I'm very, very possible that I will get sucked down by this collective consciousness of the planet. It's like 100 people at one energy level, and I'm just a little better than them, but that 100 will overpower my state of mind, and very soon I will be at the same vibration as them. So right now, if the world is at about 30, then we will need to be around 80 or 90, so that the collective energy of the world does not influence our mind, but energy flows from us to the world because we are at a higher vibration. And so each one of us starts contributing to raising the energy of the planet. That's our responsibility right now. If everybody continues to be at a lower vibration, then very soon we might be talking about another crisis, and that would be a mental health crisis. Just in 1 month, the Indian Psychiatric Association reports 20% rise in mental health issues. These are the reported issues. There are going to be many which will not be known because everybody is at home. They're not even going and seeing a therapist. Many are not even aware that they're experiencing a symptom of anxiety or depression. But 20% rise in 1 month. And this was just the beginning. It's now that the effect is going to start showing on people's minds. So we want to protect ourselves from this epidemic and find a solution. But while doing that, we need to take care that we do not create another epidemic. A mental health epidemic will be tougher to handle than this one. This is a physical disease, visible. People are aware of it. People know the symptoms. People immediately ask for help and everything comes into control. But a mental health issue, people are not aware of it. If they feel it, they don't accept it. They don't understand it. They are in a denial. Their family doesn't understand it. And going to a therapist takes very, very long. And the number of therapists versus the population, we know what it is like. So we really cannot afford a mental health epidemic. And so as leaders, it's our responsibility to start taking care of the minds of the country. Our administrators, our government, and our healthcare workers are taking care of the physical health of the country. We as leaders, we need to start taking care of the emotional and mental health of the country, because that's where the power lies. That's where the solution lies to healing. If we look at the planet, like let's say an individual, if an individual was unwell, then we all know that that individual needs a powerful mind to heal faster. But if that individual who is unwell has a fear, anxious, stressed mind, then even medicines take slower to work on that individual. Complications escalate because of the disturbed mind. And then the doctor says, "Aap pehle relax karo, aap pehle relax karo, sab theek ho jayega." Why? The doctor is treating the body, but why the mind? Because it's the mind which will influence the body. So if an individual is unwell, they need a powerful mind to heal. Now look at the planet. The planet right now is unwell. So we need a powerful mind on the planet to create healing energy. And powerful mind means we need every mind on this planet to be calm, to be peaceful, to be powerful, and to create very, very pure and high vibration thoughts of the present and for the future. It's time to start using the power of the inner world. We know all the powers in the outer world. We know political power. We know the science power. We know financial power. But there's one more power. It's a power which we're not using enough. And it's that power which creates miracles. And that is inner power, the power of the mind. It's time to use that power and take charge of this crisis and not allow it to result in any other crisis. A crisis of mental health, a crisis of which will affect the body if the mind is not happy, a crisis in family relationships. We don't want to take it there. So we're going to hold it right now. So let's start taking care of our minds. Now, how do we start taking care of our minds? Every thought we create and every word we speak. Now, we're just going to take care of that. Every thought we create and every word we speak will now have to be of a high vibration frequency. It cannot be an ordinary conversation, whether a verbal conversation or my inner conversation, cannot be an ordinary conversation. It definitely cannot be a negative conversation. Our normal conversations today are not a high vibration conversation. So we will need to learn a new language, and it's a language of high vibration thoughts and high vibration words. Why do we need to learn this language? Simple equation, which we heard as kids. It's very, very deep in the Indian culture. It's in our Sanskriti. And that equation is Sankalp se Siddhi. Sankalp se Siddhi. Sankalp is our thoughts. Siddhi is manifestation. So Sankalp se Siddhi, thoughts manifest. Second equation, Sankalp se Srishti. Srishti, our world. Sankalp, our thoughts. So Sankalp se Srishti, our thoughts create our world. This is not spirituality. This is a simple equation of life, and it always works. And there is nobody who's not experimented with this. It's just that sometimes we're aware of it, sometimes we're not aware of it, but it's working always. Sankalp se Siddhi, thoughts manifest. Now, this means I have to create those thoughts which I want the reality to be, because that's how energy flows. Thoughts manifest. The life that we are leading right now is we see the reality and we create those thoughts. And when we see what is the current reality and we create those thoughts, we create lower vibration thoughts. And because the equation is thoughts create reality, it is the thoughts will then escalate the current reality. Sankalp se Siddhi is the power of the mind, the thought power, the emotional power, the power which is used to create miracles. We've all watched, read, heard, talked, even created miracles. And it's always interesting to hear about miracles. Each time we get a social media post about someone who overcame an adversity and created a miracle in their life, and we say, what magic, this is miracle he or she created. And we forward it to everybody. It's a time to create our personal miracles. What is the difference between an ordinary life and a miracle? The miracle used the power of their mind. They did not allow their situations to overpower their mind. They used their mind to overpower the situation. And when we use the mind to overpower the situation, we label it as a miracle. Actually, miracles is a normal way of living, which means using the power of the mind to overcome our crisis is a normal way of living. So all of us, we pray, we meditate, we create affirmations, we chant, we all do it. And when we are in problems or crisis, almost everyone does it. Now, what we have to do is our vocabulary, which we use when we pray, we meditate, we chant, or we have affirmations, that vocabulary, which we use for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, now that vocabulary will have to be our normal vocabulary. Because prayers, blessings, affirmations, these are high vibration words. These are high vibration words. And that's why mantra, jap, chanting, affirmations, these high energy words are given to people. If they're going through any issue, they are told, आप ये वाला मंत्र बोलो, आप ये वाले शब्द का उच्चारण करो, आप ये वाला affirmation बोलो, which means start using these high energy words. Now, we will have to use those high energy words, not for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, but we will have to use high energy words 24/7, which means think and speak the language of blessings, prayers, affirmations. Because blessings, prayers, and affirmations is high energy vocabulary, and blessings, prayers, and affirmations create miracles. We've all seen it. What we are doing right now is looking at logical predictions, and they look so real. We say, this is real. This is what's going to happen. This is logical. It is logical. It is a prediction. That is true. But that's a logical prediction based on the current situation. Let's say, for example, I go for a blood test today and my blood report shows borderline sugar level. And my doctor says, current situation, borderline sugar level, lifestyle, not very good, family history of diabetes. Now in the next 6 months, big chances you're going to be a diabetic patient. Logical, medical prediction, accurate prediction based on my current situation. If that day I change my lifestyle, then that prediction will not become a reality. So whether it's medical predictions, which have not proved right, whether it is astrological predictions, which have not proved right, whether it is people's predictions about us, which have not proved right. Many of you must have seen it. You wanted to do something in life. You wanted to take up a business, a profession, a career. And so many people around you would have said, don't do this. This won't work. You can't do this. This is not your personality. Sometimes even our parents didn't agree that we would be able to do this. All logical predictions. Predictions created by family, peer pressure, friends, society. One individual goes and proves all those logical predictions wrong only because they create high vibration energy thoughts and they overpower the situation and the predictions created by everybody around them. And then we call that a miracle. So we've all created miracles. Now is the time to create collective miracles. Collective miracles. And for that, we'll start changing how we think and speak. To begin with, it might look a little, how can I say this? This is not true. We're not going to say what is true. We are going to say that what we want to be the truth of tomorrow. So if somebody is experiencing fear right now, and if they keep saying, dar lag raha hai, and everybody around them says, it's okay, darna to natural hai, then that percentage of fear is only going to increase. And if that person just takes up one thought, I have faith, I am confident, I am fearless. To begin with, it's not their truth. But they're going to consciously create that high energy thought. I have faith, I have confidence, I am fearless. Start thinking it. Then start saying it. Then start doing it repeatedly many times in a day. Then start doing it every day. And if anyone creates the same thought multiple times in a day for many days, within a week to 10 days, the programming of the mind will change and the thought process here will change. And within a week, 10 days, they will start saying, I'm feeling much better. पता नहीं बाहर तो कुछ नहीं बदला, but मुझे डर नहीं लग रहा. I'm feeling much better. Why did it happen? Because they detached their state of mind from the situation and chose their own thoughts and their words. So which is going to be our normal one.
Oh, I think we seem to have. There seems to be a connectivity issue. Akankshita?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a connectivity issue?
Yes, ma'am. There is a connection.
Yeah, we are just trying to resolve that at Sister Shivani's end. She's
Okay, so
logging in.
we, right. I think the network is overburdened.
They start getting information. Of probably losing their jobs. And so, at this time, it's our responsibility that what we think and speak to them about the organization, about the future of the country, about the future of the economy of the country would have to be shared in a way which has a soothing and empowering effect on the minds of the people of the country.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think for the last 5 minutes we lost you due to connectivity issues. Ji, so if you could just go back a little bit. Thank you.
Is it okay right now?
Yeah, it's perfect now.
We all know that all the people who are working in our organizations, let's look at that as a family. Each one of them, what they have gone through in the last 1 month. First, information of the virus, information of disease, fear of death, fear of losing a family member. Then came lockdown. Suddenly together in 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom apartments, 24/7, 5, 6 people of a family. There was a lot that was happening there emotionally. And then they started getting information about the future of their jobs, about the economy of the country. They already were not able to handle the current situation and the pressure that was there. But this one, every day, information. So many people will lose jobs. So many people will have a salary cut in the next 2 months. This is the future of our country. It will take 2 to 3 years for the country to come back to what it used to be. Do we really think the human mind, does everybody have the power to be able to handle one after the other a pressure of a crisis? Is this the way we will be able to take care of the minds of our organization and the minds of our country? This is the time to be a parent of a family. As leaders of organization, just visualize it like a family. Suppose there was a crisis in the family, a family of two, a husband and a wife, 2 children, and parents. So a family of 6. Now the husband and wife are handling the crisis, but when their children ask them, or when their elderly parents ask them, they don't tell them the complete truth. They just tell them, "Haan, baat hai, but you don't worry. We're going to handle it everything. Everything will be perfect. Aap bas itna karna." They just tell their children and their parents what they need to take care, but they don't keep disturbing them and pressurizing them with the real situation and talk about the problem in front of their children and parents. Because the problem is to be handled by that couple. If they keep talking about the problem in front of their children and parents, then they are depleting the energy of the family and the energy of the house. So look at the organization as a family, and every leader is the parent of that family. Yes, there is a situation. Yes, we will handle the situation. But to handle the situation, we need powerful minds of that family, which means that entire organization. Next week or next month, when we come back to work, we need empowered, energetic minds. We need creative, intuitive minds. But if those minds are going to go through so much pressure right now, not sure what kind of minds will come to work next week or next month. So role of leader to nourish those minds, to protect those minds, not necessarily talk all the figures in front of the family, which means in front of every member of the organization. We need to take care of how much we are talking in front of everyone. It's very, very important. Sitting at home with incomplete information, just trying to figure out what I am hearing on news channels. If I start speculating a loss of job, a loss of salary, even though I might not lose my job, but what's going to happen for me for the next 15 days? That's where my mind will start getting affected. And I might even take some drastic steps. So let's protect that family. It's not an organization, it's a family. And the leader is the parent of the family. So high energy words and high energy thoughts, even for our organization, our team members, and the way we will talk to them about the current situation. That's our vocabulary. So to start making this a natural way of living, just very, very simple. Few lifestyle changes. Many of you would be already doing it, but we can just revise it. First and foremost, our first hour of the morning. The first hour of the morning and the last hour before we go to sleep has a deep impact on the minds, deep impact on our emotional health. So the first hour of the morning will definitely be an absolute no to the world news. Too much of consumption of world news is not good for our minds because our emotional health is based on what we watch, read, and listen. It's the emotional health we're taking care of. Emotional diet, what we watch, read, listen. So right now, if I want to change my way of thinking, I will first have to take care of what I watch, read, listen. Ideally, completely protect ourselves from information across media, news channels of what's happening in the world. Our roles, we just need to know how much our role demands us to know. But otherwise, to keep calculating everything that the world is saying about what's happening is not going to be good for the mind of the leader. But definitely not first thing in the morning. The safest way to consume news right now would be through print media, lesser impact. Repeated audio, words, repeated visuals, deeper impact on the mind. So first thing in the morning, let's keep at least 30 to 40 minutes of the morning to consume a very pure, high vibrational diet, which means watch, read, or listen a good book, a talk, a video, a miracle of the healthcare industry, a miracle of corporate world. Watch, read, listen, pure, high vibrational content first thing in the morning. So what we consume first thing in the morning will influence our way of thinking throughout the day. So like we're taking care of our diet, like we're taking care of washing our hands, we need to take care of sanitizing the mind. So that would happen first thing in the morning. The first thought when we wake up should be a thought of gratitude. A gratitude. If I begin my first thought in the morning, gratitude, a high energy thought, it sets the mind to another tone altogether. So first thought of the morning, a thought of gratitude. Gratitude towards the higher power, to my own mind and body, to my family, to my teams, to the country, to the world. So much to be grateful for. Second thought, a thought of affirmations. We will create a few affirmations today. You can choose those, you can add your own affirmations to it, but the morning begins with our affirmations. So which means first few minutes, we say those affirmations and we visualize them. So power of affirmation plus power of visualization. So think it, create it, radiate it, and manifest it. So early morning, we will create those 7-8 affirmations for our current situation. And then of course, we take care of our physical health. So that's our first hour in the morning. Throughout the day, pause for just 60 seconds after every 1 hour. So a pause of 60 seconds after every 59 minutes and repeat the affirmation because we are changing this inner programming. We're changing deep-rooted thinking patterns, deep-rooted ways of speaking. So every 59 minutes, pause for 60 seconds and repeat the affirmation. And then last,
I think she's put it so beautifully. Siddhi se sankalp. Sankalp se siddhi. So, while we are waiting for Shivani to rejoin us, I'd like to share with everybody that tomorrow in our CII COVID awareness program, we're doing a capsule with George Institute for Global Health on mental health for care practitioners. So it's going to be a continuous endeavor for us here to help business leaders, corporates to manage these very tough and trying times. And if anybody has suggestions on how we can help individually in companies,
you will have brilliant ideas, intuitive ideas coming to you. So 4 to 5 in the morning. So first thing in the morning, last thing before we go to sleep, and affirmations every hour. And just one last point for the current time, please take care of your diet. Diet is not just nutrients, diet is vibrations. Right now, we need to experiment with a vegetarian diet because a non-vegetarian diet is vibration of fear and anxiety. And we do not want to consume fear and anxiety through our food. So an alkaline diet, experiment with a vegetarian diet, and most important, each time before you eat and drink, say your affirmation. We were all taught to pray before we eat, but today we are eating with television and phones. This is all taking a toll on the mind. Say your prayer before you eat and say your affirmation to your food. Let your food and water absorb your affirmation. And if we do this, which means first in the morning, every hour, just before we go to sleep, every meal, every glass of water, every cup of tea or coffee, then I would be repeating my affirmation about average 20 times in a day. And if I say my same high vibration thoughts 20 times in a day, within a week, that's certain, anyone can do this. Within a week, that will become your normal way of thinking and speaking. And once that becomes your normal way of thinking, that will become reality because sankalp se siddhi. So these are very simple ways with which we can use the power of our mind to create a reality of our choice and to change the logical predictions which have been made today. Predictions of when the virus will go, predictions when will we find a vaccine, predictions of our economy. It's time to create miracles, not look at predictions and accept them and make a reality. Choose your reality for your business and make that your reality. We all have the power to do that. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
thank you, Shivani ji, for this, I would say, inner therapy, soul satisfying discourse. Because I'll be very honest, when I walked in personally, I don't know about the others, there was this heightened sense. The way you've capsulized it, it's like saying rebooting your inner self. Look within yourself, it's in your hands. So thank you ever so much for putting this together for us. I know Rajan is dying to come in and ask us a question. So over to you, Rajan. Would you like to pose your question, please?
Thanks, Shabnam. And Sister Shivani, as usual, always very energizing to listen to you and to always get a newer perspective and a deeper perspective on all the thoughts that you have shared. You know, it's been a pleasure. We have been collaborating with Sister Shivani for the last nearly 24 months ago when we spent time together and really thought, how could this philosophy of affirmation-led transformation, you know, actually be brought out to larger masses and others. And we've actually successfully, last in December 2018, created a digital app called thinkrite.me that actually takes one through the journey of an affirmation, converting, that thought-led kind of speech and action. You get an affirmation in the morning, you kind of internalize it, looked at it number of times in the day, and then reflect upon it. And I think that journey of being able to convert your thought to both speech and action is such a rewarding one. And I think we'd like to see how as many people can benefit. And I would actually like to request Sister Shivani to share some further thoughts around how that process can actually be adopted by each person every day, and really what was the thinking there. Because education in schools never taught us, they only taught us what we should say and what we should do. Never speak lies, don't hit anyone. But the genesis of all speech and action actually arises from thought. And how do we really build a strong mind that can enable us to do that? So I would actually like to request her, your sister Shivani, to share further thought behind that. But just before that, I'd also like to mention that through thinkrite.me, for the current times, we have actually created a very interesting 3-day program that enables employees and others to be able to cope with situations that are beyond their control. And I think it's 3 1.5 hour sessions, building inner resilience, introspecting as to what has worked in challenging situations in the past and apply that learnings to the current scenario. How does one change your lens and change your life, and therefore bring about a positive perspective to that? And the third session is really about stepping out of the comfort zones to build team solidarity. How do you really stay together through isolation without compromising on team goals and productivity? It's not about being isolated, but actually about strengthening that. And we're very happy that CII will be offering this training modules to all the companies free of cost, to be able to see how they can digitally deliver this to everyone. So no trainers are required. It's all self explanatory, and it can be delivered within the organizations. So we'd like to also offer that there. But over to you, Sister Shivani, to really hear from you the genesis of this entire thought-led transformation process.
Actually, everything that we shared today was actually the thought process when we started this app called thinkrite.me. And the name itself is so beautiful. It's thinkrite.me, which means you don't wait for the world to be right, but you think right and you create the world. So that was the thought process behind the name of the app. And that's the app starts with an affirmation in the morning. And every morning we get a 5-minute audio recorded affirmation. And the app has a different affirmation daily, because different affirmations for different people of what they want to create in their life. And then during the day, it's like a hand holding, it's like a friend. It sends us gentle notifications about 2 times or 3 times in a day, just reminding us of what we were going to take care of during the day. And in the evening, it again has a revision of why we were supposed to think like that during the day, how it is going to change our personality, our relationships, and our health. And we've had so many people who've been doing these affirmations daily and have been sharing their experiences, how they have been creating very simple changes, but actually it's a miracle for an individual. Even to be able to create a change in their habit is nothing short of a miracle, because most of us said, oh, this is my habit, I can't change this. So changing a habit is the biggest miracle for a person, creating miracles in their relationships just by creating the right thoughts. And the app also has a huge library of meditation commentaries. So meditations for different situations in life, meditations for healing, meditations to just before going to sleep. And so meditation for almost every situation in our life. So it's like an emotional first aid kit. So I personally call it an emotional first aid kit, which we should have. And anytime, just plug it in and raise the vibration of your emotional thinking. So that's think.right.me. And the thought was Rajan's, and he had this pure intention of doing something which was not so much as business, because I don't know what business the app has done, but it was definitely a very, very pure intention of sharing something with the world which will benefit minds. Because we know if minds are right, then everything will be right. We just need everyone's mind to be right. So I think the app started just before we actually needed it right now. So it was a perfect time to start it.
Thank you. And your energy is what is the source of all those affirmations. So they're all Shivani, Sister Shivani's words that come out every morning. And I think it's benefiting millions around the world. Thank you.
So if we were to sum up what Sister Shivani has said, and the take-home message for each one of us should be, it starts with me and I. It is a behavioral change that is required. There is nobody outside there who's going to do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. She has very, very kindly offered the app to all the members. And given the huge challenges each one of us are going to face, and the crisis is not going to go away anytime soon, I think the most important piece for us would be start the affirmations here and now, hold each other's hands, and collectively we will be able to win this war. So it starts with individuals, but together we will be able to pull ourselves. So that sense of togetherness should never go, but start with me and I. And at the end, Sankalp se Siddhi. Thank you ever so much, Sister Shivani, for sparing your valuable time to us. For us,
Shabnamji,
Ji,
just 2 minutes more. Can I just share the affirmations with everybody?
Please.
Because that's the message that I just got here on the chat.
Please, all yours, all yours.
Just affirmations. Each one would create their own depending on what change you want to create here. It's an inner shift that we want to create for your mind, for your body, for your business. Please do create an affirmation for your business, because the affirmation you create is the reality you will create. So please create a business affirmation. Please create an affirmation for your team, and create an affirmation for your family and for the planet. Simple affirmations, which I am doing right now and we're all doing together. I am a powerful being. Now, what is the affirmation? Because stress and anxiety is normal, we will say, I am a powerful being. The language of affirmation is, we don't say, I should be powerful, I will be powerful, I hope I'm powerful. No, I am, which means the reality that we want to see, we will create a thought that it is a reality today. I am a powerful being, untouched by the energies of situations and people around me. I am a peaceful being. I vibrate at the highest frequency. I am fearless. I have faith and I'm confident. My body is perfect and healthy and will always be. So we are replacing any thought of what if this happens to me ever. So replace it. My body is perfect and healthy and will always be. A very, very important affirmation for everyone. Connecting to the higher power, God, and say, God's energy is a circle of protection around me. And draw that circle, visualize that circle. God's blessings and power is an energy circle around me. Nothing can enter into this circle. That's the affirmation. Nothing can enter into this circle. I'm safe. I'm protected. God's energy is a circle of protection around my family. And then draw the circle around them on your mind. They are safe. God's power and blessings, a circle around my business, around my organization. My business is safe and will always be. Create an affirmation of hiring people this year. Create an affirmation of giving a raise to people this year. Create an affirmation of productivity and prosperity this year. Create it, think it, radiate it, manifest it. Make miracles normal. And then God's power and blessings, a circle of protection around my country. And God's power and blessings, a circle around the planet. The last one, very important. Visualize the planet with a circle of white healing energy. Each one is calm and peaceful. Each one is perfect and healthy. Each one is safe. It's a beautiful world. That thing which had come onto the planet, we don't even take its name. We don't invoke it. That thing which had come onto the planet has gone, disappeared forever, never to come again. My planet is safe. My world is protected. This is a reality. Few affirmations. First thing in the morning. Last thoughts before going to sleep. 60-second pause and repeat every hour. And most important, energize your every meal, your every glass of water, every cup of tea, coffee, with a 20-second pause of prayer and repeating this affirmation. Because the energy of food and water has a deep effect on minds. Jaisa an, vaisa man. Jaisa pani, vaisi vani. So the vibration of food and water currently, we know what the energy in the country and the city and the world is. So we cannot consume it as it is. We have to change the energy. And so we will be having prasad and amrit and speaking a vocabulary of only prayers, blessings, and affirmations. And when there's so much healing energy, then miracles will become a normal way. This is a certainty. Please do not look at logical predictions and accept it. Create your thoughts and make that your logical reality. Sankalp se srishti banti hai. This is the truth. It's just the power and the current time We need to use this truth, which we always knew. We now need to implement it. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Shivani. And on that note, wishing everybody that they stay safe and healthy. And with your blessings, I'm sure we will be able to overcome in this difficult time. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivani ji.
Shanti.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you very much.